Most of the people in my last 20 years, 25 years of my adult life don't have a clue, what happened to my history, And so, yeah, it's really hard not to have a viable neighborhood to go back to that you grew up in. And unfortunately, that's happening to a lot of young people in the city of Detroit that are being displaced, and sometimes they don't even know they're being displaced. They're being evicted, and then the houses are being bought and torn down or not torn down. And this was my story, and this is where I grew up. There's no house, there's no playground, there's no, anything that I can actually show them that reflects who I was when I was young, And, this is Detroit. This is what's happening to a lot of the residents in Detroit as displacement's happening everywhere. My name is Maria Salinas. This is the neighborhood in which I was born in. It's called the Oakwood Heights neighborhood. It is actually in Southwest Detroit. It's the zip code 48217. My dad came from Italy in the early 1900s, and my mother came from Mexico, probably in the 1940, 1950, and they got married, and this is where they landed. When you think about Southwest Detroit, you got to think of it as a multicultural community, multicultural, multilingual. This neighborhood became very industrial. Marathon started in the early to mid 90s, buying out houses. Me, my husband, and my kids moved out of here in 1998. We sold our house because we started to see a lot of industry coming around. It was smelling, and if you take a whiff right now, you can smell sulfate. And what happens a lot of times when you grow up in a body or a community like this, you become complacent and you really don't smell it. But I just tell people, just take a whiff and you can smell that sulfate. So why is that important? I think that the environment sets a tone for how you grow up and how you see life because of the barriers that come along with the environment. Marathon is the empire behind me, the salt mine. So this is all going to be eventually Marathon. It's all going to be built out for Marathon. They built their whole, it's going to be like a city. They pretty much have just displaced everything to build up Marathon. It's all salt. They blow it up, and that's how they make Morton salt. I know now, that being brought up in this community, even though it was displaced and is displaced, and there's a lot of industry, that being trilingual and coming from two parents from other countries is a value. That is why I had a vision to, start an organization that would teach identity and culture, and and really understand trauma, and try to diffuse and debunk trauma by a process, and so that's what Congress of Communities is for me, and my vision, and what I try to do. I always said to myself, if I ever could make it, and I could be able to find funding, and that I would open up a place that we could cultivate leadership. We value our natural leaders and give them resources and tools to build their self-esteem, because a lot of times they're moms that are stay-at-home moms, but they are warriors, they are leaders, they're natural leaders. Somebody saw that leadership in me when I was in my 30s, and they guided me to change, to say, somebody recognized my value. It's important to me to leave a place, somewhere in the community that nobody can take away, and it actually is built with the with the voice of the community, the voice of the leaders, the parents, the voice of the children and the youth, the elders, and it's going to stay here. Nobody's going to be able to take it away. It's right in the community, so I'm hoping that it's a model and a best practice where people can walk to the house, the community house, and be able to get resources and sit down and actually have conversations and eat and break bread and build together a good, viable community for the future of our young people, the future of our kids. So this is a dream come true to me.
The house, I feel, is so important for us at this time, especially for this community, is to have an outreach place, a place you can meet. You can have meetings and learn about things. And anyone who's interested, I'm sure they'll be welcome to come and utilize the space. It's a safe space. That's the best thing in the community you can have for people in the community. It's a safe space to meet up together and feel comfortable.
I love all the staff, Maria, Deniqua, everybody in there. It's like we really fight for justice for everyone in our community. I love Canasa community.
It's a place to learn, to heal, to laugh, but also cry together and support each other. It's my home. And every time when you step in, you can feel it. I learn a lot from not just the director, Maria, also for the staff and all the people who participate. I learn every day from them.
Es muy importante más ahora porque sé que trabajan con los jóvenes, trabajan con las familias y más ahora que va a estar en nuestro barrio, por así decirlo, va a estar en nuestro barrio. Nos sentimos más parte de la comunidad ahora. Me siento muy contenta con Comunidad de Congresos porque siempre nos hacen sentir parte de Comunidad de Congresos como si fuéramos una familia todos, con los jóvenes, con los niños, con los programas que traen. Muy importante también para nosotros como comunidad latina que traen consejos de migración, abogacía, de comunidad y muchas otras cosas, y me encanta y me gustaría mucho que ahora que Comunidad de Congresos va a estar aquí, la gente viniera y se involucrara más porque es sumamente importante, y muchísimas gracias a María Salinas por todo esto.
Bye.
We're currently at the COC Potential Community Center house that we're getting together, looking for it to be a community house, youth-driven community house. So there's been a lot of youth that I've already put the input. This is their idea, their perception, their experience, and how they want to build it out for the community. It'll be utilized by adults, it'll be utilized by young people, mainly for leadership development, but most of all, we show them a pathway to education, to get into college and come out of college. It's very important so that they become more effective leaders in the future. This is going to be the place where they're going to be cultivated, but we need money. We need people to donate and to maintain it. And if this model works, and this is a best practice, we would like to take this concept and take it to another a part of Detroit. So please help us out with this house. We'll take anything, and we will really, really appreciate it.